The frost on a November morning in Wyoming bites straight through raw leather. Sheriff Garrett Thorne stood on the wooden steps of the Bitter Creek Assay office, staring down at an iron padlock that was completely intact. Inside the vault, $3,000 in raw gold, or was simply gone. It was a fourth shipment from the Wind River mines to vanish along Devil's Pass. No shots fired, no blood spilled, and no tracks left in the mud. Behind Garrett, an angry mob of unpaid miners demanded answers. Standing on the bank balcony above was Cyrus Whitmore, head of the county commission. Whitmore held up 3 fingers, giving Garrett an ultimatum. Catch the phantom thief in 30 days or hand over his badge. 25 days. Already gone. Garrett posted a $500 bounty for a scout who could track a shadow. The answer didn't arrive on a lathered horse, but on foot. Maeve Vance, wearing a trail-worn canvas duster, stepped forward carrying a cracked brass compass and a leather binder of topographical survey maps. "Your deputies have been looking at the dirt," Maeve said, laying her maps flat on the hitching post. "They ought to be looking at the stone. Dirt tells you where a man has been. Stone tells you what he was forced to think about before he got there." Desperate and facing the end of his career, Garrett hired her as a special deputy. As they turned their horses toward the white peaks of Devil's Pass, Maeve glanced back at Whitmore watching from the balcony. "We aren't hunting men who use guns, Sheriff," she whispered into the freezing wind. "We're hunting men who use paper and iron." Upper Devil's Pass was a frozen graveyard of razor-sharp granite. For 2 days, Garrett's traditional tracking yielded nothing, but Maeve read a landscape invisible to him. She pointed her compass housing toward the upper tree line, showing him vertical rope burns stripped into the pine bark 20 feet up, alongside displaced river pebbles sitting far above the water line. On their 3rd night, watching a test supply wagon rumble through the narrow gorge below, the mystery unraveled. From a high rim above, 2 thick iron hooks dropped silently on braided steel cables, catching the iron handles of the gold chest. High above in a cavern fold, a silent, counterweight winch system turned, lifting the heavy chest straight into the pitch-black sky, while the wagon rumbled onward, its driver completely oblivious. "It's a mechanical hoist," Garrett breathed, engineered right into the cliff face. Later, huddled over a small fire, May revealed her father had been a telegraph surveyor who mapped these passes before dying in a suspicious accident after refusing to sell his maps to an Eastern syndicate. Garrett shared his own ghost. 10 years prior, his rigid adherence to the law led him to arrest his own brother during a drought, who then died in prison. Their moment was shattered by galloping hooves. Deputy Harlan Vance, Garrett's childhood friend, rode up with 3 armed men, holding a rolled parchment sealed with county wax. By order of Judge Alden and the county board, Garrett, Harlan said coldly, "I'm taking your scout into custody." Garrett is risking his badge and his life on a scout the entire town considers an outsider, choosing intuition over traditional law enforcement. Do you think a lawman should always follow the book, or do extreme times require taking a chance on an outsider? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Harlan held up a warrant accusing Maeve of an armed bank robbery in Denver. Garrett snatched the paper, and Maeve inspected the signature. Her eyes turned to ice as she recognized the precise, geometric penmanship of the surveyor who had stolen her father's land survey 6 years ago. "It's him," Maeve whispered. "Whitmore isn't just stealing the gold. He's framing me to invalidate my father's maps and claim the mining rights to this entire canyon." Before Garrett could draw his Colt, Harlan's men surrounded them with carbines. Avoiding loud gunfire that would alert nearby mining camps, Harlan forced Garrett and Maeve at gunpoint into an abandoned, heavy iron-doored mining tunnel, bolting the 3-inch deadbolt from the outside to let the alpine blizzard finish them. Total darkness swallowed them as the temperature inside the stone shaft began to plummet. Garrett slammed his shoulder against the iron door in vain, sinking to the floor. "He trapped us," he muttered. "There's no way out." "Garrett, look up," Maeve said, feeling the draft in the blackness. "The blizzard is pulling air up. There's a natural chimney shaft at the back." She struck the ceiling with an iron pick, sending sparks through the dark to reveal a vertical rock fissure. As Garrett cleared away loose shale at the base, his boot struck a heavy, metallic object in the dust. He struck a match, revealing a custom brass surveyor's lantern engraved with silver crest, a soaring eagle clutching a compass. Maeve gasped, pulling a jagged piece of broken brass from her pocket that she had carried for 6 years. She held it against the lantern, and the edges matched perfectly. Whitmore's conspiracy goes far deeper than anyone in Bitter Creek imagined. Will Garrett and Maeve escape the frozen mountain in time to expose him? Like this video, subscribe to Sarah's Wild West Chronicles, and drop a comment below telling us what you think will happen next. The match flickered in the draft of the mine shaft, casting long, dancing shadows across the granite walls. In Garrett's hand, the brass lantern glowed dull and tarnished, its silver crest, an eagle clutching a compass, shining through 6 years of dust. Beside it, the jagged piece of brass May had pulled from her pocket fit seamlessly into the lantern's broken base. The truth settled over them in the freezing dark with the weight of a cave-in. "My father didn't die in an accident," May whispered, her fingers tracing the seamless joint where the metal reunited. This lantern belonged to him. It was missing from his gear the night they found his body at the bottom of the ravine. Garrett stared at the crest, the pieces of the puzzle locking together. It wasn't a random robbery, Maeve, and you didn't end up in Bitter Creek by accident. You've been following the paper trail of your father's stolen survey maps for 3 years. Whitmore had murdered Maeve's father to seize his original topographical surveys of Devil's Pass. He had used Deputy Harlan as his internal enforcer to stage the silent, winch-powered hijackings, deliberately bankrupting the local miners. By orchestrating the thefts, Whitmore aimed to force the desperate town into forfeiting their mining claims to his Eastern Syndicate for pennies on the dollar. "We aren't dying in this hole," Garrett said, his voice dropping into a hard, unyielding register. Together, they turned to the narrow vertical fissure above. The climbing was pure agony. Foot by foot, they hauled themselves up the freezing rock chimney, their fingers bleeding against razor-sharp granite, the howling alpine blizzard pulling them upward like a siphon. Maeve used her spatial memory to guide every foothold in the pitch black, while Garrett wedged his shoulders into the stone, pushing her past the narrowest bottlenecks. Just as the first pale light of dawn broke on the 30th day, they smashed through a frozen crust of ice onto the snow-capped summit. Battered, exhausted, and bleeding, they dragged themselves back down to the high cavern, securing the stolen gold ore chests and the brass lantern as indisputable physical proof. They mounted their horses and galloped down the mountain trails, racing against the sun. Yet as the frozen rooftops of Bitter Creek appeared through the trees, the church tower clock began to toll. 12 slow, heavy strikes echoing across the valley. Inside Town Hall, Cyrus Whitmore rose to his feet, adjusting his silk tie, and signaled Judge Alden to strip Garrett Thorne his badge and sign the Wind River claims over to the syndicate. Cyrus Whitmore used paper warrants, court deadlines, and corrupt lawmen as weapons to steal an entire mountain, without firing a single bullet. In the Old West, who was a more dangerous villain? The wild outlaw with a gun, or the wealthy tycoon with a pen? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Just as Judge Alden raised his wooden gavel to finalize the forfeiture order, the heavy double doors at the back of Town Hall swung open, slamming against the oak frames. The crowded room fell dead silent. Garrett Thorne and Maeve Vance walked down the center aisle. They were snow-dusted, frostbitten, and caked in mountain mud, but completely resolute. Deputy Harlan reached for his sidearm, but Garrett didn't even draw his Colt. Instead of violence, Garrett stepped directly up to the bench and slammed 3 objects onto the judge's desk: the recovered brass lantern, the original hand-drawn survey maps, and a heavy ledger listing the serial numbers of the recovered gold chests hidden up in the pass. "You're too late, Thorne," Whitmore snapped, his voice tight with sudden panic. "You're stripped of your office. That woman is an escaped fugitive. Read the maps, Judge," Maeve said, her voice cutting through the whispering crowd. She laid her father's original land deeds alongside the warrant Whitmore had forged. "And look at the signature on that warrant. It matches the handwriting of the surveyor who stole these deeds 6 years ago, the same signature on Whitmore's syndicate filings." Judge Alden adjusted his spectacles, examining the precise, geometric penmanship. He looked up at Whitmore, then turned his gaze slowly toward Deputy Harlan. The psychological pressure in the room exploded. Surrounded by dozens of angry miners and faced with undeniable physical proof, Harlan's composure shattered. It was Whitmore. Harlan yelled, backing toward the wall. He built the winches. He promised us half the canyon claims if we locked him in the mine shaft. Gavel pounding. Judge Alden's voice thundered over the uproar. He immediately dismissed all charges against Maeve, ordered the arrest of Whitmore and Harlan for murder and treason, and restored the gold to the mining community. Outside on the sunlit boardwalk, Garrett unpinned the silver star from his sheepskin coat and handed it back to the town council. He turned to Maeve, holding out his hand, not as a sheriff to a deputy, but as an equal partner. "I'm done enforcing other men's straight lines," Garrett said, a genuine smile breaking across his weathered face. "I think I'd rather help you map the open country. On the frontier, some men try to build kingdoms with guns and others with paper, but in the end, it was a compass, an honest heart, and a trail that couldn't be hidden that won the West." If you enjoyed this ride to the Wild West, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Sarah's Wild West Chronicles, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a story from Frontier. Tell us in the comments what Frontier legend we should cover next. Until next time, keep your campfire burning.